In 1, 2, 3. Hello everybody, and welcome to our today's VMware Carbon Black webinar, which is focused on intrinsic security. I'm really happy to welcome our today's presenter, James Halliband, who is evangelist of Carbon Black, and will give you an overview about what Carbon Black is and how it helps to secure your organization and to protect your organization for tomorrow. Before we start, I encourage you to ask questions in the Q&A. We have after presentation some time to review and to answer them, and during the day you're all welcome to visit VMware Carbon Black channel and ask some additional questions if they come up. So, but it's my pleasure to give the floor to James.
Thank you, Jonas. Thank you, Jonas, and great to be here. Hi, everyone. Yep, my name is James Halliband. I'm the Senior Product Marketing Manager and Security Strategist at VMware Carbon Black. So over the next 25-ish minutes, I'm going to discuss the notion of intrinsic security and how it shapes the future of the VMware Carbon Black Cloud. So I'm going to speak about our vision, our strategy, where we stand today, and then, of course, our roadmap for the coming year. So let's dive in. The three biggest obstacles facing security today has little to do with the state of machine learning or the state of threat intelligence, or how even quickly organizations are adding the latest tools or point products. Our biggest challenge is far more structural. Security today is far too siloed, it lacks context, and it's far too bolted on. Now, my point about siloed is that security is fundamentally a team sport. We all have security responsibility, but to be truly effective, security teams need to be able to leverage and collaborate with IT. And increasingly, security teams need to be able to get operationalized with infrastructure teams, network teams, desktop services teams, development teams. But we operate those functions as silos, as we each use our own tools, our own policy languages, and then ultimately our own sources of truth. To work together, we have to work on a common set of facts. Now, my point about threat-centric is not to diminish the need for intelligence about the threat that we face, but it's where our industry has fallen short, is in the context about what we're protecting in the first place. We need far better context about our applications and our infrastructure, and how one leverages the other to deliver critical business services and give us access to critical data. Ultimately, you can't secure what you don't understand. And for that, we need far better context about what we're protecting in the first place. And then my final point is that security is often bolted on and build our infrastructure before we know the applications that we're going to be running. We then design our applications. And finally, we say, okay, let's go and secure that. And that puts security in an impossible position and results in that bolted on philosophy. It also drives our vendor community. Every new use case, every new attack vector or technique has seemingly driven the creation of some new product. And that means the average organization has between 75 to 100 security products that we ultimately bolt on. And this means hundreds of sets of agents, appliances, hundreds of consoles, hundreds of policy sets that somehow have to be aligned. According to Gartner, 90% of breaches leverage misconfiguration and misalignment of these very controls. And today, globally, we spend over $100 billion annually on security products. And protect teams buy tools to harden the environment, prevent malware, and detect and respond to attacks. Desktop services teams will buy tools to manage device posture and user access. Network teams buy tools to segmentate the environment, detect malicious traffic, and cloud teams buy tools to ensure the public cloud environment is secured and configured correctly. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to protect is not the servers, the network, the devices, the users. trying to protect the applications and the data. We can't lose sight of that. But in our silos, where one team handles the network, another the servers, another device and access control, and our adversaries have exploited that very phenomenon. They might steal the credentials to get control of a device to access the workload to move laterally across the network. Cyber is an asymmetric battle. Defense is always harder than attack. But when we operate in our silos with bolted-on solutions, with little understanding of the system that we're protecting, we're at serious disadvantage to our attackers who are not. So what does this have to do with VMware? Well, you'll likely know VMware as a leader in cloud and mobile infrastructure. Our virtual compute network storage technologies such as vSphere, NSX, vSAN, vRealize are all sitting under the majority of the world's workload. The Workspace ONE platform, the Tanzu platform that organizations utilize to manage devices and build cloud-native applications. And these platforms are giving us a unique footprint to solve security the way it should be solved. So they are the key touch points of any application. They see the workloads that compose that application, how they communicate across the network, communicate network services, the configurations that they run on, and the users and the devices they have access to. And because we're already inside that fabric, that places us in a unique position to provide the visibility and the context, to enforce policy, and to do so everywhere, dynamically, without bolting on more agents. Security is simply intrinsic to the fabric and the platform itself. And of course, that puts us in that incredibly unique position to be able to make sure that we break down the silo so IT can better collaborate with InfoSec teams and operationalize more security, in that unique position to surface the context that is so sorely needed. As we said earlier, it's not just about the threat, it's about the applications and the data that we're trying to protect. The unique position to be able to move security from that bolted on model to that built-in model and get rid of the agents, the sensors, the appliances, and consolidate those point solutions into a platform designed to solve the use case end to end. But to be clear, we're no means by building solutions that only run on VMware. As we fully understand that organizations that you will speak to that run everywhere need security that runs everywhere as they have things to protect. And while we know that almost every company is a VMware customer in some way, almost no customer is only a VMware customer. And our platforms enable us to deliver unique value. Unique value where you have VMware infrastructure, because that infrastructure becomes your eyes, your ears, your arms, but also unique value where you don't run VMware, because our global visibility and understanding with the applications is unparalleled. We actually began this journey half a dozen years ago, and it may surprise some people to learn that we're among the largest security software companies in the world. Security represents just shy of $2 billion worth of revenue at VMware, and it's of strategic importance that we can't be understated in this market. You know, as we said earlier, what different teams are looking to do, well, we have Carbon Black to help the InfoSec teams with Workspace ONE to help the desktop teams, network teams are utilizing NSX, and of course, cloud teams utilizing Secure State. And that's important of all of these solutions. It's how they're connected together. And that really is the basis of our intrinsic security strategy. So let's dive into VMware Carbon Black, our solution designed for security teams to protect endpoints and workloads. Securing endpoints and workloads ultimately involves three interconnected processes: identifying and monitoring the area of risk, preventing attacks, and detecting and respond to attacks. Defense in depth is achieved by all three of these processes in alignment, each having failure modes. We harden our systems to reduce the attack surface. We prevent the attack that we simply can't avoid through hardening, and then we detect and respond to simply what we can't prevent. And to be effective, these can't be point-in-time steps. They need to be ongoing processes. These can't be siloed processes. These need to be connected processes. But the challenge with solving this problem is with traditional endpoint security solutions fall into the same three areas that we discussed earlier: siloed, context, and bolted on. The lack of shared context and the facts make it very difficult for IT to effectively operationalize security, hardening policy changes, And this limits collaboration between IT and the SOC. We don't speak the same language, we don't see the same facts. Lack of infrastructure and application context is also a huge problem. We see the world as sets of IP addresses, and you can't secure what you don't understand. Also, the lack of meaningful, objective data to analyze behavior leads to gaps in detection, and that makes it hard to deal with ransomware, non-malware, and more advanced attacks. The lack of understanding of how our infrastructure to serve our applications gives up our single advantage against our adversaries. And this is the one thing that we're in a position to know better than them. And finally, as you said earlier, too many tools, which has led to the ever-increasing complexity, misconfiguration, and misalignment of controls. Scripts to connect our vulnerability management system to our SIEM, to our patch management system, it's all evidence of this. So typically, organization SOC will look something like this, where they're utilizing different tools, different siloed tools to identify risk, prevent, detect, and respond quick, and try to do that as quickly as possible. And each of these tools, of course, have their own agents, their own policy sets, their own consoles that we all have to try to align. Now, taking a step back, this is not how we'd have designed our SOC if we had any choice in the matter. We design our tools and our platforms to serve our process, and not the other way around. So the reality is, with all of these interconnected use cases and all the scripts and the manual processes that we deploy today between these tools are just evidence of that. So what we really need is to unify these to a single console, a single sensor, freeing up the overhead and the complexity of an ever-growing number of agents, and to collect that data once and use it for different types of analytics. And that actually opens the door to collect a much richer set of data. And again, do that once in a more efficient manner. We need to consolidate these products into a set of interconnected modules in a common console, so we can pivot between these capabilities to have to move easily from detecting and investigating an attack and turning that into prevention policy, so we never have to fight the same battle twice. And we need to bring a much richer set of analytics to the problem. Machine learning and artificial intelligence are very promising approaches for security, but they're only as good as the data set they can operate on and the compute power they can bring to bear. And the cloud can help us just do that. So of course, this is precisely the design philosophy behind the Carbon Black Cloud. A single platform with a rich set of modules for identifying risk, prevention, detection, and response, all on a common console to make it easier from pivoting between modules and aligning controls and policies. And built on a cloud platform where we have access to enormous data sets and massively scalable compute power, enabling us to leverage the power of machine learning and AI, all from a single lightweight sensor. So we can apply this platform to any surface, from Mac to Windows PCs, Windows Linux servers, virtual machines, and cloud native like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. And this is the current state, as you see in front of you, of the VMware Carbon Black Cloud. You can think of this as a security cloud as to what Salesforce.com is to your sales and marketing team. Carbon Black Cloud is your security team. Now, of course, when we look at those critical capabilities, this falls into three major points in each of these. And first, in the terms of identifying risk and reducing the attack surface, you need to make sure that you're ensuring that you're installing on a new platform and a new clean infrastructure. And VMware Carbon Black Cloud does the very that. Ensuring you have visibility into software and configurations that create that unnecessary risk. We have to add visibility. We have to be able to enable organizations to see that risk while the software is being installed and not a month down the line. And the ability to automate the monitoring process. Automation is a key for security success, so that risk management is a continuous process that doesn't weigh down limited resources. Now for prevention, well, it's extremely important to be able to expand the prevention net beyond traditional malware. The traditional mainstay of antivirus systems, too much of what you need to be preventing is outside of that net. The bar is just so much higher now. Secondly, it's critical that you prevent non-malware attacks. These have always been steadily on the rise over the last few years. And finally, it's critical that you can customize prevention based on the unique operational constraints of mission critical systems. And then finally, let's turn to the domain of detection and response. First and foremost, we have to be able to have out-of-the-box automated detection. We have to make sure that our teams can be powered by our threat research team and also third-party feeds as well. We also have to be able to rewind the tape. What this means is being able to zoom out, rewind the tape, and start from the very start. Where did the attack happen? Where did the attack start? What happened? Where did it spread? Answering all those questions easily enables detection and response to be done quickly. And also, we need to be able to translate that detection into a prevention policy. I said this earlier, and I only reiterate, you should never have to hunt for the same threat twice. And that's exactly how Carbon Black is positioned. So with that, and as we've discussed today, exists the VMware Carbon Black Cloud audit remediation module to help identify risk, with the prevention module that helps malware, ransomware, non-malware. And of course, EDR, our detection and response, provides the ability to detect, investigate, and respond to attacks. Well, over the next year, we've been working, and over the last year, we've been working really hard to make sure that we bring new and advancements that are all planned to the VMware Carbon Black Cloud. And you may have seen at VMworld, we made some major announcements. We're adding new capabilities such as device control onto for the endpoint. We also announced VMware Carbon Black Cloud Workload. It's a brand new product line from VMware Carbon Black. We're adding cloud workload capabilities such as visibility and policy right onto, and vulnerability management right onto the VMware Carbon Black Cloud. And that will help organizations identify and manage the risk with vulnerability management and vulnerability prioritization as well. And along the bottom, we've been launching our native vSphere integration that will enable the VMware Carbon Black Cloud workload solution run agentlessly on vSphere. And then moving forward, we're going to be announcing in a little over a couple of months full capabilities for containers, specifically for Kubernetes environment. And of course, as we continue to mature the platform itself with increased automation, increased ease of use, lifecycle management, and further certification capabilities. But as we wrap up today, perhaps what is most game-changing is the work that we're doing of our intrinsic security strategy. From our current position, where we have a platform that identifies risk, prevent and detect and respond to attacks on endpoints and workloads, our intrinsic security efforts leverage the integration of the broader VMware fabric to unlock two major sources of value. That first involves leveraging the broader VMware fabric to greatly expand the telemetry that we ingest and the places that we can enforce policy. That'll move us beyond the endpoint and the workload into the network, the user, the applications. This will expand our EDR perspective into what is becoming known as XDR, extended detection and response. Our access to understanding these fabrics has no equal in a security company on the planet. This comes from our heritage as a software infrastructure company and the digital foundation for clouds, applications, and devices. We'll continue to ensure that we run in any environment, but we'll take advantage of the VMware fabrics to create some really compelling value. On VMware platforms, our XDR solution will be native, requiring no agents or sensors or appliances, just access to the Carbon Black Cloud. We'll also leverage the fabric to create some unique functionality, like leveraging the hypervisor kernel to protect against tampering of our components. Security will get moved into the virtual hardware. And then the second effort involves exposing the Carbon Black Cloud context and functionality into the IT consoles of the VMware portfolio. This will enable IT to operationalize more security, better collaborate with InfoSec teams, infrastructure, network, desktop services, and DevOps teams. We'll all be in a great position to operationalize a great deal of security. Hardening the environment, patching systems, segmentating the environment, modifying policy to constrain an attack, repairing systems. These teams will all have a unique perspective of the operational constraints of your infrastructure and applications. So our focus here is to expose our context and some of the Carbon Black Cloud functionality, particularly around visibility, inside the IT consoles that these teams use, such as vCenter, Workspace ONE Manager, and NSX Manager. So specifically, the roadmap for these integrations remain as follows. So at VMworld, we launched our brand new workload security modules. Now, what we've done is we've enabled virtual machine visibility, vulnerability management, all from within the Carbon Black Cloud. It enables these functionalities on any workload, whether it be vSphere, bare metal, native cloud. But on vSphere specifically, it enables the capabilities of the Carbon Black Cloud to be agentless and protected by the hypervisor kernel. So that means you'll have agentless NJB, EDR, auto-remediation, and vulnerability management. Carbon Black Cloud will also have an interface. It also has an interface inside vCenter where we can expose virtual machine visibility, Carbon Black activations, vulnerability management, giving infrastructure teams the tools to better operationalize management of patching of vulnerable workloads. Ultimately, here we expect to have the most unique and compelling workload security solution in the industry. Now, for Workspace ONE, we launched our Workspace ONE workspace security solution, integrating components of Carbon Black and Workspace ONE together. Now you can send alerts to Workspace ONE, giving desktop services team tremendous amount of security visibility. We've also added runbook remediation capabilities in as well, enabling organizations to leverage and automate runbooks so Carbon Black can trigger those runbooks. And then in a little over a few weeks, we're going to be adding a unified agent installer. Our agent management will be unified, enabling you to install, update, and maintain the Workspace ONE, the Carbon Black Center, as a single unit. For NSX, well, we launched the VCF security solution. A VMware Cloud Foundation, VCF, is a fully integrated private cloud solution from VMware. It includes virtual compute, network storage, as well as management. So when we ship the VCF security suite as a purpose-built solution for the VMware Cloud Foundation, it includes Carbon Black, EDR, and last line, NDR, that's now integrated into NSX. And then in a few months' time, we'll be adding in and exposing workload reputation context inside of NSX. And that'll enable the NSX gateway to be able to actually see the source traffic and the context behind that traffic itself. And then finally for Tanzu, our work here, of course, is focused on containers. As you've heard from our recent announcement, we acquired Octarine, who have been developing the latest in next generation container security technologies. So the integration of the Octarine technology will extend our Carbon Black Cloud capabilities to containerized applications running in Kubernetes, building security capabilities into the fabric of existing IT and DevOps ecosystems, and further reducing the need for additional sensors in the stack. By building policies and analytics into our security cloud platform, we'll eliminate the need for adding yet another solution and console and bring a much richer set of capabilities for securing containers. And of course, with our deep integrations into Tanzu Mission Control, we'll be empowering DevOps teams to better operationalize security, collaborate more efficiently. Ultimately, applications will become secure by design. And that really is the heart of intrinsic security. Security, as we know, is a process. Technology can elevate that process, but it needs to be designed to do so. Having a single platform, a single console, a single agent to identify risk, prevent, detect, and respond opens up tremendous opportunities to improve everything about security. We can't stop operationalizing security as a set of discrete and siloed actions. We can stop operationalizing security as a set of discrete and siloed actions, but start operationalizing security as a continuous connected process, one of where these elements feed each other. So our vision, our opportunity together with you, is to transform security, to take advantage of the unique properties of virtualization, cloud, and mobility, to rethink how security is done. We must do that more than a simply port of our old security approaches into these new platforms. To view them as simply a new surface to do the same old thing. Instead, we need to think about how we can leverage the unique properties of virtualization, cloud, and mobility to transform how security is done. Security must be more unified. It's a team sport. We need to move the approach from where IT can operationalize more security and collaborate more effectively with security. Security needs more context. You can't secure what you don't understand. We need to move beyond threat context to richer context of the infrastructure and the applications that we're protecting in the first place. And security needs to be built in. Security can't be an afterthought anymore, bolted on at the end of the process. We need to move from that bolted on model to with hundreds of products, agents and consoles and policy sets, to that more built-in model that can be agentless and consolidated. And that's our mission, that's our vision, and that's our mandate. No pure play security companies have been in a position to execute on this, but as a part of VMware, we're now in a unique position to do just that. And we're honored to be partnering with all of you in this transformation. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be here today.
Thank you, James, for a great presentation and for a great overview about the Carbon Black as a standalone solution. Is now very tightly integrated with different VMware offered solutions, starting from base products up to containers. It's for me, it's really amazing. So
yeah, absolutely. It's we've been very busy over the last year.
Yes. Good to hear, and good to hear that you also have a great roadmap ahead. So more solutions and integrations, so to say, to come. But I think we also have a couple of questions we can answer. Still encourage you, all audience, to ask some questions or to submit them in chat. But one very simple question from one attendee, but what if customer already has some antivirus solution? What is Carbon Black offering to such a request?
So really, Carbon Black takes what customers already have today with legacy antivirus solutions, really takes that to the next level. Next generation antivirus is focused on behavioral analytics and understanding the actual techniques, tactics, and procedures of a typical threat. When I say that, what I mean here is that typically antivirus solutions will understand the signature, they'll understand past malware, existing malware, but they won't understand new variants of malware, which really opens up holes for organizations and gives the attackers a way in and a way to be able to breach systems very easily. So really that is essentially replacing that legacy AV solution with a more a solution which is really designed to protect ourselves now in this, especially in this current climate. And when I say in this current climate as well, typically legacy AV solutions will have a lack of visibility, especially when the user is not on the corporate network. And because the users now across the world, a lot of users aren't on the corporate network because they're working from home, just like myself. That actually means that we need to add visibility. You need to be able to understand the endpoints wherever they are, no matter where they're sitting at home, in the office, in the coffee shop, in an airport, wherever that might be. The need for visibility is more prevalent than ever.
Okay, thank you, James. And also a quick question, what flavors of Carbon Black you have? Do you have I know you have a SaaS offering. Do you have also standalone on-prem offering at the moment, or what's your roadmap?
So with the VMware Carbon Black Cloud, the VMware Carbon Black Cloud is a SaaS offering. So it's all built in the cloud. It's built in AWS, and it's a full SaaS solution. We do have our on-premise solutions as well. These are our point products. We have our EDR solution and our application control solution as well. And what we've done with our SaaS solutions, we split that into 3 solution bundles. So that's a standard, advanced, and enterprise bundle that we have there. So we split that into 3 easy bundles for organizations.
Okay. And just for a highlight, also to current vSphere customers, VMware offers Carbon Black Cloud Workload Essentials until April 2021. Who are interested, you can write in chat. So our local Baltics business manager helps you with that. Okay, James, thank you. I think we ran out of time. Thank you all the attendees, and hope to talk to you soon. Thank you, James.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Take care, everyone.